Hi, I'm Dana, and I'm 60 years old. I have three part-time jobs, one of which is helping take care of my 6-month-old grandbaby, Malia. And to be quite honest, my life feels out of balance right now. I'm actually at the stage where I really want to slow down. I want to have less responsibilities, less things on my plate so that I can take it easy and maybe focus on, friends and family, as well as taking better care of my health, also getting more involved with my hobbies. But I do have this nagging feeling like I need to keep making money. I would like to retire sometime soon. And what I mean is maybe in 2 to 3 years from now. With me being so busy, and actually I share responsibilities with 2 other grandparents with taking care of Malia. I also have a thrifting business as well as my YouTube channel. For the past few years, I've been really trying to grow my businesses. While it is a lot of hard work, it requires a lot of hands-on work, and I need to be consistent with my output. Because of that, neither one is anywhere near passive. It was about 2 months ago. Yeah, it was 2 months ago when my daughter Kelsey went back to work. And that's when she asked the 3 grandparents if we could all take care and watch Malia. I knew it was coming. I totally feel like that is the most important job for me, and it's probably the most fulfilling in so many ways. It's, I get to be a big part of my grandbaby's life, and that's huge. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's upstairs and she is squealing with delight. So anyway, and I have my notes here so that I don't totally off track. So, but I just felt very compelled that I wanted to come and talk to you about how I was feeling. And it feels like such a big transition in my life. So as soon as I started, caring for Malia, I had so much less time available. As time went on, I realized that I had to cut back on, both YouTube and on my thrifting business. What's been happening is I've been seeing less and less income coming through. Although I know why and what's happening, it still feels like a bit of a shock to my system and a little bit to my, I don't know, I feel like my self-worth in a way. So that's been hard to kind of grapple with. And, I worked really hard building both of these things. I enjoy the creativity that goes along with building businesses. It's just, it's hard for me to just ramp down on those things that I built up. I think what's happening to me is as I prepare, I guess, retirement, am I really ready for it? Because I've been just so used to being productive and listing and editing and shooting a video and thinking up ideas for the videos and talking with you. I just wonder how am I going to move on to the next step? So it is almost like I have a new chapter in my life, right? It should be a really, really happy and I don't know, like joyful chapter. In a sense, it does feel like I am starting over yet again. If you're new to my channel, I talked about the time where I started over during the COVID time, 2020, and I was laid off at that time. I had a whole bunch of different other issues that were going on. My mom passed away that year. You know, my daughter had just entered high school and she was struggling with high school. And then all of a sudden, us being in lockdown. I also, during that period of time during lockdown, I moved in with my older daughter. So me and my younger daughter, Emmy, moved in with my older daughter, Kelsey, and her husband, but at that time it was her fiance. And we moved into this house that she bought. We basically quarantined together. I contributed to the mortgage. And so at that point, that's when I discovered the thrifting and having it as a business, because there's Sven back there. He likes to fluff up the pillows and then sit right on top of them. So, so I thrift vintage and modern clothing, and then I sell it online in my online stores such as eBay and Poshmark. So it was a really great way for me to incorporate something that I really love doing, which is thrifting. And my previous profession was that I was an art director, and before that a graphic designer, and I had that profession for over 30 years. So after I was laid off, I really wanted to get away from advertising and design. So that's when I found thrifting and went into it, learned everything that I could, and slowly but surely I was growing my business. From there, that's when I started YouTube, and I wanted to sort of document my journey as far as starting over. And you know, especially me being older at that time. I was 56 when I was laid off, 57 when I started my business, and then I was about 57, late 57, 58 when I started YouTube. So, you know, as a, I don't know if you call me senior, I guess I'm a senior. That's when, you know, I made a big shift in my life, and I was really happy. Working very hard, though. I mean, both of these endeavors requires a lot of work, but I was willing to do it. My youngest daughter moved. She went to, I'm sorry, I probably hear a lot of things going on upstairs. So she did 1 year of college, and then she decided she wanted to just work and stay in Santa Barbara. So, you know, that's where she is right now. So, you know, I'm basically an empty nester. So a lot of different life changes. I would like to, like I said, do it all if I could. And maybe that's for me, you know, definitely continue with babysitting. What's difficult about the babysitting is that I don't have a fixed schedule, because one of the grandparents, she actually lives in San Diego, and she comes here and she stays for a certain amount of time, and then she goes back to San Diego, or she goes on trips and this and that. So the amount of days that I watch Malia changes, and the schedule changes. So it's become very difficult for me to put out videos on my schedule consistently. It's been hard for me to go and thrift, and then after that, you know, photograph and list and things like that. So those things have been really, really challenging. And so I think I'm at the point where I just have to make a decision on how I want to move forward. And realize that my creativity, or, because what I could do is I could either pause on one or both, or I can just keep doing it at a very, very much lower capacity, just have it running almost like my hobby. And, that means that I won't be as consistent, which has been hard because I really do love creating YouTube videos. And I love, hopefully helping you navigate through our later years or midlife, hoping that we all can find more wellness as we get older. But at the same time, me being able to put out a video every week has been very challenging. So, and sometimes I feel embarrassed because I know other creators who are able to put out videos every day, and then it's like, why am I so slow? And the same thing with, my thrifting business. It's like, why am I so slow? And it's just me, maybe I'm just more methodical. Maybe, even the way I talk, I think about things before I act. And, I guess there's good and bad in that, right? But for now, that's what I'm thinking of doing, is just slowing down my production. And, so what I'm thinking is maybe I can release a video. Maybe it's once a week, maybe it's 9 or 10 days, maybe it comes to every other week, something like that. So it's not going to be, too different, I think. And then as far as my reselling business, that might be a bigger shift for me. So, I don't think I can be able to list every day. I'm not going to be able to go out and thrift more product as frequently. So, there's that. And then I think what I want to do is have weekends where I don't work, because I've been working every single day, and it gets to the point where you just burn out and stop taking care of yourself. And that's what was happening to me. I was struggling with these allergies, and I'm going to the doctors for it. I'm seeing an allergist. I'm going to go visit him next week, but it could be more than allergies. So, I might need to go to an ENT to see if it's more something with my nose. And, it's time for me to take care of myself, because that's really important. I want to be around for a long time if I can. I would love to, still do all the things that I do. I still want to go to the gym, go to my hip hop classes, and I'm also incorporating yoga because I really feel like I need that stretching and toning as I get older. So that's really important to me. And I'm going to try to push away my worries about making money. The thing is that my daughter, Kelsey, she said to me, Mom, don't worry about making money. We got you. We can take care of you because you're taking care of Malia. You're doing a lot, which is amazingly sweet. And I'm lucky that I'm in this position. But at the same time, I'm still able-bodied. And, I didn't want to take help now. I didn't want to take help ever. But, the fact that I'm able to live here in this granny flat in the basement granny flat, and Kelsey, Justin, and Malia live upstairs, and Lena, Justin's mom, when she visits, she stays upstairs too. So this is a multi-generational home, and I'm lucky to have this. So I do have saved up money. I saved up about 300K, and I really wanted to sort of get to like closer to 500K. I felt like that would be better, but I do have some passive income coming in, which is good. And when Malia goes to toddler school or daycare one day, and I don't know when that's going to be, she's 6 months now, so it could be when she's 1 year, it could be when she's 2, not really sure. But I could take my 2 businesses that have turned into hobbies because I'm not making enough, and I could ramp those up again, and I can put as much time and effort as I want to. We all have a finite amount of time, and as I'm 60, I'm realizing it more and more. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing the things that I want and need to do for the rest of my life. And I think as we get older, time is so precious. So now is the time for me to figure out really what is important. What do I want? What do I want? What is the meaning of my life? And what do I want? I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be fulfilled. If I have certain goals, I want to still meet them. And, I want to be a big part of my grandbaby's life. So that's important. If you ever had to step back in life, like step back from a job, a dream, or maybe just a routine, I just want you to know you're not alone. And I think maybe in all phases and chapters of our lives, we face this transition or this, I don't know, crossroads. And it's just part of life. Nothing is bad about what kind of decisions I'm making now. It's not bad, it's all good. So if I look at it that way, I can move on and realize that no matter what, it will be okay. I'd love to know if you are experiencing something like this in your life right now, and I'd love to hear from you, and just to know that, we all face these issues where we have to make choices. Maybe we have to pivot, or maybe we have to start over.